Now, he makes this statement in verse 5. He says, Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will uncover thy skirts from thy face, and I will show the nation thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Now, he says, I'm against thee. This is the second time that he said that. And this is the thing, you remember, that God says against Gog and Magog in the 38th, 39th of Ezekiel, and we believe that refers to Russia. Definitely so. I think without a shadow of a doubt. When I graduated from seminary, I would not accept that 38th and 39th referred to Russia. And I decided on my own I'd make a study of it. And I did. And those of you that have our notes on Ezekiel know that I went into a great deal of detail there, a threefold reason why I'm confident that it is Russia that's mentioned there. Now, there's a nation that wasn't even in existence in Ezekiel's day. God said, I'm against you. Well, we know now why. Atheistic. Now, here is a nation that God says, I'm against you. But not because they're atheistic, but they're polytheistic. And this nation was given over to idolatry, but back of the idol was the occult. Back of the idol was this that was witchcraft. And witchcraft has become a reality today. And men are finding that there is a reality to it. And it's those in the upper echelons that are making the discovery of it. I wonder, and I don't know that a study's ever been made, but I've been told on rather good authority, and when I say good authority, from those that are in Washington, that it would be very amazing and alarming, the number there that appeal to fortune tellers, to the horoscope, and to this same type of thing, of trying to interpret the future. Men want to know the future. Now, God says, I'm against thee, saith the Lord of hosts. And then he says, I'm going to uncover thy skirts from thy face. Now, today, in this day of nudeness, and when they, with their tongue in their cheek, try to call it art, to present that which is salacious and very sinful and very suggestive, and they call it art, but they got the tongue in their cheek when they say that. The display of the nude today, and now both women and men. But in that day, this civilization had sunk pretty low, but not as low as we have. They did not display the human body. They were not given over to that. In other words, it was a disgrace for a woman to be displayed nude. And now God speaks of the shame that he's going to bring on Nineveh. He says, I will uncover thy skirts from thy face. That is, I'm going to pull your skirt up over your face. You've been a harlot, and I'm going to reveal you in all of the lurid details. And believe me, that was a real disgrace. He says, I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. That's what God says I'll do for you. Now, Assyria went down, friends, a great nation, a great civilization, with its riches and with all of its power. It went down into the dust, never to rise again. God said, that's what you do to it. And he says, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee and make thee vile, and I will set thee as a gazing stock. That's verse 6. In other words, God says, I'm going to bring you down. And God says, I'm opposed to you. And I will expose you to the world for what you are. And the excavations that brought to light this great civilization reveal that all of this is quite accurate. Only this just happens to be a vivid description and a prophecy given long before that it actually took place. This is something that is quite amazing. Now, all of the description that's given here was something I just did not want to pass over lightly because it has such a tremendous application for us today and is such an apt picture of this present day, and it reveals God's method in dealing with the nations of the world. And I don't think he's changed his method. And if he hasn't, we're in trouble, friends. And I mean deep trouble. We ought to pray for our nation. Now, God has used some very strong language here in describing this city. He called this city a harlot, and that he was going to absolutely display the shame and all of the filth and the vileness of this great civilization and make it a gazing stock to the world. And that was the end of the great Assyrian Empire.